Cool. Hi, I'm Kat.
And I'm Gabe.
And we're
the Ghouls next door.
Welcome.
Yeah, talking about spooky stuff and weird stuff. And
It's still our what situation, right?
Yeah. It's still what?
I went to the meeting.
Mind F. Yeah, we have planned. We plan.
We do. We plan a lot. We're shooting our shots. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And hype about it.
We have had a lot, and these episodes have been very studious. Like, we've had to do a lot of research, Kat has, or emotional, because some of the topics were. Mm-hmm. And so it was kind of like, we like to take a break whenever that happens and do something interesting or just like for funsies. And so
for laughs. Once we hit a cry, we make a hard cut.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, now we gotta do laughs.
Now it's gotta be silly time.
Because then everyone's just gonna be sad. Yeah. And our self-care lesson was that when you have like burnout or like sadness, mm-hmm. you need to do self-care and like unwind a little bit so that you re-energize to go back at it. Yeah,
exactly. And that's our MO usually, and it's worked pretty much.
You're welcome.
Every time, because it's like silly, intense. So we're actually going to do 3 mini-sodes. So these are going to be short, so they're not going to be your hour-long usuals.
It's your tiny friend.
Your tiny friend. And we'll be less structured, so we don't have our facts, films, feelings. We're just going to be chatting about some films. We're going to talk about films that fit into the what, Mind F category of like what is going on.
Yeah, but we couldn't put them in a specific category of what.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like, I really want to talk about a thing, but like, what is it?
Yeah, like what?
Like, how do we fit it with another one?
Yeah.
We couldn't. That's what we kind of.
Or it doesn't really have like a definitive, like it didn't really fit. Mm-hmm. Like in one place, right? Or we just really liked it and we were like, we want to talk about it. So we're going to talk about one film today, and it is The One I Love.
Yeah.
Not the film I love, the movie, The One I Love.
It's Gabe.
Yeah.
And Isaiah. So 2 I love.
I do love this film, so it works out. It also has my celebrity love in there. So my husband, he's not really my husband, but he knows. Mark Duplass. So if you want to know what it's about, it is from 2014. It is a troubled couple vacate to a beautiful getaway, but bizarre circumstances further complicate their situation. So that's a very nice, loose way to say that. It's directed by Charlie McDowell.
It's a fun name.
Chuck. My cat's name is Charlie.
Yeah.
So that's fun. Yeah, so this film stars Elizabeth, right? Moss. That's her name. Elizabeth Moss and Mark Duplass, as I said. It's right there in front of my face. Ted Danson's in there for a minute. It's right there. It's in my face. Well, we're professionals. We know how to do this.
We didn't drink this time.
No. I don't know why. Yeah, I was like, maybe we need to. Yeah. So, yeah. So the film is pretty interesting because we have a couple who is like at marriage counseling.
Yeah, they definitely super loved each other at one time. But then, life and people age, and sometimes they age differently than like the original cookie cutter version of the one that you loved. Mm-hmm. And they transform into like a slightly different, still like they're still kind of there.
They're just older.
They're just different. Like, yeah, they got
life
different
happens
priorities.
To them version.
They, got really busy at work and like stopped working out as much. And it's just like, that's what happens when you get older. It's just like life now.
Yeah.
So it's like, he's a little more angry. She's a little bit more like upset about the things, like justifiably. He does do some things that are like, he was very annoying in this movie, like the bad version of him.
Yeah.
Versus
he also
the good
cheated
version.
On her. So
yes,
that
exactly.
Also happened.
I didn't know if we were just spoilers.
Spoilers.
You know what's happening. So yeah, spoiling it.
This is all this episode is.
Don't not watch the movie first.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's clearly trying, like, he feels a lot of guilt and he doesn't know how to process that, so he doesn't know how to, like, actually genuinely apologize.
Yeah.
And she just wants him to appreciate her and genuinely apologize and just say what he's actually
and
thinking.
Be the guy that she fell in love with.
Yeah, instead of being a sarcastic jerk. So.
Yeah, well, and I think a part of it is, like, in relationships, sometimes those things that were quirky that you loved or were excited about when you first get into a relationship, like, when you've been with someone for, like, when you're married and, like, life has happened to you, sometimes those things are, like, what, like, annoy you, or you realize, like, that's good in, you know, moderation, you know, or, like, when it was, like, cute and we were young and we could do spontaneous things, you know, and we like filled roles that each of us needed from each other, and now, like, we don't have that, and I mean, people just grow apart, right? And I think that's the part of it. Like, it was a very honest, like, representation of a relationship where you're just like, you're trying to communicate, but you're not really trying to communicate, because a part of that is, like, owning that, like, you might be wrong. Right? Yeah. Or, like, that you need to reevaluate the way that you present information or acknowledge your faults or try to fix things. So Ted Danson tells him to take this nice retreat to this house, and it's, like, pretty, it's beautiful, and they have a lot of fun. And that's the thing, is, like, the first night when they're, like, hanging out and they, like, smoke weed and they're, like, being giggly and really cute, like, honestly, if it was real, like, if his intent really was, like, go there and like rekindle your love, like, they were kind of doing it. They were on the right path. Like, I understand that it was more than likely superficial, because then they still have to go back to normal life, right? But yeah, before, like, things kind of get weird is where it is.
Yeah, it's honestly, this film is just the embodiment of my biggest fear. And honestly, the thing that, like, that's what ends marriages. When you don't just say what you want and how you feel, and it's just, like, what it is. So that's, like, my biggest fear, is that, like, I'll fall in love, and then, like, I can't get them to tell me the things that they feel, and that's gonna sad times.
It is gonna sad times.
Well, because I demand transparency.
Yeah.
Ingenuineness makes me physically uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So it's, like, very real.
And he definitely had that, like, personality of being, like, you know, I'm sorry you were upset kind of thing. Like, he definitely was that kind of person. He was definitely a jerk. And felt he was, like, above things, you know.
He needed this really wacky scenario to be honest about how he felt.
But he wasn't even, like...
At the end, I feel like he kind of was.
I still think he didn't really learn.
He's like, I'm sorry that I cheated on you and that I'm not honest about it. I just don't want to be replaced and stuck here.
Yeah, like, that's not a reason. It's like, if that didn't exist. So, we're gonna head on over to Spoiler Town right now. So if you have not seen this film, like, hardcore Spoiler Town, because it gets wacky, I definitely recommend it. It is so good. It's very fun. Elizabeth Moss is great in this film. She's so fun. Like, it's so different. Like,
because we watched her in Handmaid's Tale, which is just a very sad, high tension version of her.
Yeah.
Where this was like, oh yeah, she's a normal person.
Yeah, and I think, like, you know, she was, like, cute. Like, and, you know, I can see, like, how he fell in love with her when they were younger, and they ran off into someone's pool, and they tried to recreate it, and she's trying so hard to hold on to this relationship, and it really isn't her fault. And so in Spoiler Town that we go, they go to this house, and on their first night, she goes to, like, tour, and she sees that there's, like, a guest house, and she goes in there, and her husband's in there. Mark Duplass is in there, but he's not wearing his glasses. Like,
his hair's more beachy.
Yeah, he's, like, he seems kind of chill and cool. Like, he's, like, relaxed.
Remember all those jokes I used to tell? I'm telling them now.
Yeah, everything's, like, fine.
I don't have my angst.
I'm, like, chill, and I, like, work out, and I think you're hot, babe.
The glasses are what held the angst. Like,
pressure.
The pressure of my
Angst
classes is
pressure.
what brought out the angst. But now that they're gone, I'm just really fun.
I'm so cool, cavalier.
Yeah.
He's like really cool. And so she's like already like that night had been smitten by her husband anyway, and was like a little high. And then she's like, she has this kind of like fun, like she thinks it's him to her, you know, and he's fun and whatever. And so then they end up hooking up. And then he's like, let's sleep here. And she's like, I need to get clothes. And then she goes back and he's like sleeping on the couch. And she's like, what? And so she's like, oh, this is a funny joke that you're sleeping.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I am sleeping. Like, what's going on?
Mean?
And they have this fight that he doesn't understand. And she like goes. And then it turns out that there are these like copies of them in the guest house. And only like he can't go see the copy version of him. When he goes in, he sees the copy version of her, and she can't come in, and vice versa. So it's like that. But they're always like, they're supposed to be this like perfect version of your partner. So like the wife version, like the copy version, like made him bacon in the morning.
And in this scenario, she hated how he ate bacon.
Yeah, she didn't like for him to eat bacon. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is like you really just got to suspend disbelief, because it's like the process with which this takes place. Like, that's impossible.
Yeah.
That's never what?
Yeah.
No. But like there's this whole like wacky conspiracy of like the therapist who's like trained these people who were other people at one point to now be like dummies that like look just like clones essentially of these other, it was super weird, and you just got to kind of be like, yeah, I'm really gonna ask you questions. This is totally a good time.
Yeah, and I think it's funny, like, that the version of him that she liked was, like, this younger version of him who, like, made the kind of jokes that she liked, and, you know, he was fun, and he was charming, and he, like, cared about her emotions, and he, like, was very honest, and, like, you know, talked about his faults, which, like, the real him wouldn't do, because he thought he was, like, above that. And so, like, yeah, she was definitely falling in love with, like, a previous version, and it turns out that it's not really them at all. But it kind of, like, the beginning of it kind of reminds me of that episode of Rick and Morty when, what are the parents' names?
Beth and Jerry.
When they go to the like, marriage counseling, like, islands thing where they make the copies of you. And so, like, her, like, the version of her that he had was, like, the xenomorph, and then his was like a gross slug, and then like it gets all crazy where then like the best version of her is like the best version of him would think that she was the best, so they put it on. So it kind of reminded me of that, because it was just like, how do they see each other, like how would they want to see each other? And it's funny because like the version of her didn't even have, like, he didn't buy it like for a minute.
Oh, right? Yeah, like, they didn't stand a chance.
No. And I think, like, a part of that was, like, one, that he's, like, a very, like she mentions, like, he, you know, told all the stories behind every trick from the magician, and, like, he doesn't like magic and, like, suspending disbelief. He needs, like, answers, and he needs it to be real and, like, factual. So
he needs the genuines. Yeah.
So, like, when, like, he totally is, like, something's wrong, I don't like this, I don't even want to play with this, right?
And she's like, but you're better in there.
Yeah. And I think, like, that's a part of it is, like, you know, she can suspend disbelief and have fun, but I think also it is that she already was the best version of herself for him. And, like, that's what I kind of got from it was, like, in regards to him cheating, a lot of the times when it comes to cheating, it really isn't about, like, your partner. Like, your partner can be anyone, like Beyonce, right? Like, literally. Yeah. It's not about them at all. It's not like, I need something better than you, because then they would just do that. Yeah. It's always about the person who's doing it and how they feel inadequate and how they have holes that they need to fill or needs. And, like, he had felt like they were disconnected and blah, blah, blah. So, like, excuses, like, I'm not, like, you should not be cheating. No one should be cheating. Yeah. But it felt very much like that in the film, that, like, he didn't buy it because his version of her was already perfect, because she was fine. There was nothing wrong with her. And so then for her to have, like, this version, it's kind of like a compliment in that it is a version of him. It's just the version that was happy with her. Yeah. And that, like, really sucks. It's, like, really sad.
Yeah. That's, like, that was such a great point, because it's very much not, she couldn't be, so everything she does, she just seems like a bland, like, do whatever you say kind of person in the guest house.
Mhm.
Like, she really, the whole plus to her is that she's, like, quirky, and she kind of gives him crap, and, like, they have this, like, banter. So it's like, yeah, so he can't eat bacon.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll still keep the wonderful wife that I have.
Yeah.
Where it's like, he's the one who feels like he's inadequate because he can't talk about his feelings, and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Time.
I do
self-sabotage.
And also it's like when you think about it, so the fun version of him, like they make this whole point where it's like he's beachy, he doesn't wear shoes, and his hair's a little messed up.
He just came to this
and
house without shoes. Where doesn't he have shoes on?
Yeah, I was like, what is so he's just carefree. And he's not wearing glasses. But the clone or the like copy version of her has her hair all like pinned up and it's nice, and she's clearly trying to make the best out of the situation because whoever's in there does not want to be in this body. Yeah. And it's funny because she is very much like the still carefree version of herself. Like she wears like shorts and she's like, you know, like in a t-shirt, and she likes to like goof off and play tic-tac-toe, and he really like, it very clearly made sense for them to be together than for like real version of him to be it. Because I think like it kind of feels to me like and something I think we'll talk about in a later day is that I feel like, so the hint of the story we get in the beginning of how they met is like they met at a party, and it was like witty, quirky, and then they like escaped and went into the pool and blah, blah, blah. And it felt to me like if we were to watch that movie, like that's a romantic comedy that is 100% like the Manic Pixie Dream Girl, where he envisioned her as like Ramona Flowers, cool girl who like doesn't care, and he, who is very much this person who is uptight and like needs to control everything, pretended to fit the role that she needed. And so as soon as like they got married and life happened and he let that go and became himself, he didn't work with the Manic Pixie Dream Girl because that's not how that's supposed to go, right?
It's
like,
not the idea. Like, you can't just pretend to be a whole different person to get someone to like you, because then that's not how that will last.
Yeah, and if anything, it's like it might be like who he wanted to be, and then. But it's not. It gets tiring after a while. And I think like that's when like the Manic Pixie Dream Girl fantasy goes too far, because generally like that whole trope is that like she'll leave because she's like, you've grown and now I can go, right? But I don't think
served my purpose.
Yeah, and like most of the time when you're looking in what we'll dive into in a much later episode, or I'll be excited to talk about Manic Pixie Dream Girl, is that really the man is at fault in those. Like it's always like a remark about how he is messed up and needed this person, and like how she like she most of the time they're like, I am not here to fix you. I am a whole person. That is not my plan. You're messed up for needing that or wanting that from me. And like everyone always gets caught up in not realizing that that it's really that guy's fault. And so it's
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yes, 500 Days of Summer, which will be what we talk about. I can write articles about it. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt will back me up because that's how he feels. Yeah. And that's how I feel. Like I feel like it's a Manic Pixie Dream Girl scenario gone wrong, where she did settle for this random guy that didn't deserve her, and then like, you know, he didn't learn and didn't grow from his interaction with her. He stayed himself because that's what he thought was cool. It's funny because like he also Duplass plays in a show. Dang it, I wish I could remember like the name of it. It's like on HBO or something. But he is married and also cheats in it. But he plays a very similar kind of character where he's like a mix of those two characters, where he's kind of fun and like witty, but he's also like kind of uptight. So it's like I've
not seen it, so I don't know.
Love it. Love that show. If I could remember the name of it, it's been a long time. But since I watched it, but that was like on my Mark Duplass love train trip that I had.
Do you get to see his penis in that one?
Yeah. Just for a second.
Nice.
He flashes it because he likes to show his penis. Like in Creep 2. He shows his penis, if anyone wants to know.
Yeah. Gabe enjoys his films.
I enjoy him.
Yeah, he's a fun dude.
And you know, so in that for that show, for small tangent, in that show, when I watched it, that's when it awoke in me this admiration and like crush on Mark Duplass, which is like weird. Like it makes sense because he's definitely the kind of dude that I usually have crushes on. Where Kat's like, are you sure? Robbie from New Girl, are you okay? And I'm like, but. I'm like, look at this giant nerd man. Love him. So, and she's like, I don't understand. when I was watching the show, he was just like a dude. He's just like a dad and he's like a husband, whatever, normal guy. But there was just something about like, he's very confident in who he is as a person. And like, that is super exciting. And so I was watching, I was like, oh my God, I don't know. And then my good friend was watching it with me, and he's like super gay. And I had explained to him, he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then as it was going on, he was like, wait, no, I see it. I get it. And I was like, I feel validated. He's like, it's just like the way that he holds himself. Like if he just came in like confident and was just like, yeah, I know I look like I got dad bod, kind of like hotter dad bod, but I'm like real cool about it. I'm like, yeah, like.
I mean, confidence is a big factor. If you got confidence, you have a lot of leeway in most situations in life.
Yeah.
Like half everyone's problem is that they doubt themselves.
Yeah.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
But sometimes like doubt is good because then you're not a bad person.
100, you know?
Yeah.
It keeps you
just a decent amount of guilt just to keep you not being misogynistic.
Or being the real version of him. You know? Because, like, he was confident, but he was, like, the wrong kind of confident. Whereas, like, the version of him in the guest house, the whole time I was, like, swooning. I was just like, I get it.
Oh, yeah, he's cute as anything.
I get it. Elizabeth, stay with him. I get it. Why would we leave my house?
That's the whole twist.
Yeah.
Is that we don't know. Like, we think that she stayed with him, but we don't know.
No, she definitely did. She definitely did.
Yeah. I think
that is the twist. That is the twist.
It's super weird, though, because we both commented on it, that she's smiling. And it's like, she wouldn't be smiling to go back with you. She'd be looking down and sad and hoping that you think it's that one.
And when they left the house, like, they still ran and were on the same side. Like, there was never a point where we were confused who was who. She was standing where it was. It was just confusing to him.
Yeah, because he wasn't looking behind him.
He thought he did the big, like, I admitted my feelings and emotions and now it's all good kind of thing, like that you usually see at the end of a romantic comedy. And he thought that's what he was doing. But it really, like I said, was a non-answer, really. It was just like, this crazy circumstance, you can't let this, I can't lose you. And it was like...
Because you just don't want to be left here.
Yeah. It's just that, it's that this is wrong, right? Like that this scenario is wrong. Like in the fact that it's like surreal. Right? Like, it's not logical, and that's why you don't want it. It's not really that you're losing me, because like the copy version said, she was like, it has not been just this weekend. And she doesn't even know that. She was just like, I love how she just, like, doesn't give any ass.
She was just like, I'm done with
pretending.
This act. You're nauseating.
I hate this guy. But she just wanted out, and then she, like, her heart was broken, too. But, like, always, like, she was always like, I don't want to play this game. And when he finally is just like, what are you? And like confronts her, she's just like, I'm your wife. And I'm also fed up. Like, you suck. And now you know. And duh, like, get it together.
Yeah, otherwise you're going to be here as a shell human. So.
Yeah. It's like, this is all the illusion, you know, for like you. But I wonder if like she wasn't his original like wife, the copy version of like the copy guy. If she was kind of like the real wife who had been there with her husband and then fell for quirky guy and then was stuck there. Like, because she says, like, I love him, right? But it's like, I kind of, like, the way that they act, like, he doesn't really love her. And so it's like, does he really know, like, is this a thing he just does? Like, he just wants to stay here? I don't think so, because he does try to, like, leave.
Yeah, it was weird.
But the whole, like, why it's in the what category is because, like, what is it?
Well, yeah, because there's no way to explain what's happening. It makes no sense. And they don't even really try to explain it. They have, like, videos of him talking to people and them changing their voices. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
You're just like, what is this man's ability to do couples therapy, but then not?
Yeah.
Like, you're giving fake results because you're just, like, giving copies.
Yeah.
Like, want to escape. Like, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
So she's still with a fake version. Like, because his whole thing is supposed to act like this dude.
Yeah.
So.
But I think, like, and that's the thing that, like, totally, like, throws out my theory of, like, how she's in love with him for who he is because I don't think so. And the fact that, like, the copy of her never really was her. Like, she was always just, like, a perfect wife. She was just Stepford wife, right?
Yeah, she was not trying to
at all. So I think, honestly, it's just that that's what she's always wanted, and so she was like making it an excuse, saying that it was a fun version of him, but that he never really was that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think he ever was that. He pretended for like 5 minutes that that's who he was a long time ago. But I think that this quirky guy is exactly the clone guy. Like, I think he has always been that quirky guy.
Yeah.
And so, she deserves to be a clone guy. I'd be the clone
But they
guy.
get to stay at the place, so then they get to get wiped and, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess they get
rules.
to be a different body. Like, maybe it's a hotter couple.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if we can get hotter than Elizabeth Moss and Mark Duplass.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like my dreams. Someday. Yeah. Any other thoughts about this film?
No, it was good. It was a good time.
Yeah.
No, but like, I mean it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it
It
like...
seems a little disingenuous.
It was a fun time. It was a fun time, guys. I really did like... We watched it twice.
Yeah.
And it was entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you have any other thoughts? Do we have to rate them?
I mean, I guess we could,
Mike Duplass's penis. Not Mike Duplass's penis.
This is perfect. This is the best rating I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, so if you like it, it's Mike Duplass's penis.
Of course it's Mike Duplass's penis.
And if you don't like it, it's put that away.
It's, what is it doing here? Get out of here. Why
you
do
need
you
to
need
warn
an excuse?
us.
Or it's like he just flashes his penis all the time. It's fine. Free the peen, right?
We did used to yell that at Game of Thrones, so that's right.
Yeah, this is equality.
Yeah.
So for this film and for Mark Duplass and Mark Duplass's penis, I'm going to say it's a Mark Duplass penis.
Yeah.
I'll say, put it out there, whatever. I'm not... Listen,
All I'm saying,
Mark,
I have no opinions about Mark.
I'm just saying, Mark, listen. Don't get a restraining order. I don't know where you live. You're on the other side of the country.
You're taken, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
You have your own Mark Duplass penis upstairs.
We do have that's what I call him, too. That's what I call him.
Well, I don't have an opinion about Mark Duplass's penis.
But
I did like the films.
Yeah.
So that's good.
So it is to you.
Yes. It is Mark Duplass's penis. But like...
it's something we all want to hear.
No. But like for you, yes.
Yeah.
Go on ahead.
I don't really get it.
I
don't, and I understand. I understand that people are like...
He's like funny. I like enjoy him as an actor. It just... No.
Yeah, no, totally love him. People are like, what is your celebrity crush? And people put like really hot guys.
Oh, I mean,
I drop like...
My celebrity crush is not like a really hot guy. Well, yes, he is.
Is it?
Oh, I have a few. Daveed Diggs.
Hot guy.
Because, okay, for firsts, Hamilton.
Yeah.
He is both Lafayette and Jefferson, and he raps in French, and that's so really cool.
Yeah.
Gabe.
Yes. Yeah.
And he's also a great actor. He has a lot of films.
Yes.
Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
The guy from cartoons.
Yeah, that's true.
So like Mulan.
I can't think of... Oh, you know what? So, so everyone has an informed opinion of my celebrity crushes. We have Mark Duplass, Matthew Gray Gubler. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but from Criminal Minds, Spencer Reed.
I have no idea who that is.
Love him. Anything he's in. He's also in 500 Days of Summer. And so, like, if it's like a, kind of nerdy guy who's like really smart or fun.
But like, there's two people for him. So like, I hope that the voice I had a crush on was not Donny Osmond. I don't want it to be Donny Osmond. But also there's B.D. Wong, because I don't know.
Yeah, interesting. I guess the singing would probably be Donny Osmond.
Oh, yeah, he wasn't a great singer. That wasn't the reason. He was just hot.
But I'm just saying,
he was a hot cartoon man.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Then Trunks.
Cartoon man I have a crush on would be Colonel Mustang from Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh. Yes, you've mentioned that to me.
Yeah, I do. I mention it to anyone, any chance I get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's the voice. I don't know. It's so deep. It just gets to me.
He has a confidence. So.
He does. He does.
He has a
It's a
confidence.
bad day for rain. Remember that? He was like such a man. Anyway, it's a cartoon. Gabe, get it together.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was that. Does that episode?
You're welcome.
The short and
Mark
sweet.
Duplass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his name.
I really listen. Mark, if you're watching this, it's all in good fun. I appreciate your work. I think you and your brother are great writers, and you make really amazing films and TV. And yeah, keep doing it. Keep doing the work, man.
Yeah, we're just saying jokes. It's a compliment. You wouldn't be like, your whole thing is you like to show
you're
it
fun,
off, so
dude.
it's fine.
Like, if you want to put your penis out there, do it. If you don't, it's fine. I won't be mad about it. Oh, it's fine. Okay. See you.
I don't know how we got here, but it's a good episode. Guys. What's up?
All right. And yeah, don't get married.
They'll eat your kids. Or you'll leave them in a cabin. I don't know.
Or maybe you have
What if? So
stay
stay with me. Stay with me.
Yeah.
You go, so you're not getting along with your kids.
Yeah. So you
go to
family therapy.
You go to this family therapist, and you go off to this like family getaway.
And there's better kids.
Better kids in the guest house.
100%.
And then you're like, oh, I want to keep my messed up kids. I want them. You know, it was like that movie where he jumps off the train and he wants his son back. Let's go.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But hypothetical.
No one knows what you're talking about.
You go back and you're like, wow, they just
want his kid back. No one knows what you're talking about. Okay, it's fine.
You take your kids to the cabin, you get better kids, you go home, everyone's like, wow, they get such good grades. They danced in the recital. Wow, that's so great. Love your new kids. I don't know that you switched them.
How bad do they gotta be? I don't know.
They could just be boring.
Yeah. I'm terrified of having boring kids, or kids who like sports.
They don't get your like humor.
Yeah, or if like a kid really, really, really was into sports, I'd just be like, go team.
Happy sports ball. Let's
go sports, go. Athletics are number one. Participants are heroes. Go team, yeah. That would be me as a mom. Or if they were really boring. They're just like, no, I just want to write on. I can't think of anything boring. I just started writing on graph paper. This is not a pastime for anybody.
Unless if they're drawing, they can draw on graph paper.
No, they don't draw. They're just writing on graph paper. Okay? They're just doing mathematics.
I just don't want my kids to think I'm weird. And I don't want them to love their dad more than me.
But that ship has sailed.
Because I'll be very sad.
My mom's weird. I love dad. He's cool.
It's like, I can't take mom outside, so.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Yeah. I also am worried that I'll have a kid who's cooler than me. I'd be real jealous.
I like want them to be cool, but I want them to still like love me. You know? So I'm gonna like sing to them when they're a baby and knit all their stuff and like love them unconditionally.
Yeah.
So it would suck if they like weren't about that.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's that. That's a short episode. As short as we could do. So hope you liked it. It's fine.
Bye.